Latest on Cyclone Alcide, which has intensified further, now Category 1 on the Saffir Simpson Scale, a tropical cyclone on the Météo France scale, and 85 miles an hour, pressure 985 according to them. That is 1 minute sustained winds. The storm has just passed over Agalega Island at this intensity, a stage 3 on the CDPS. Some further intensification is possible a little bit later on, but the storm is not likely to travel very far. At the minute it's 313 miles from Farquhar Island in the Seychelles. The storm could wind up getting towards there. 352 miles from Tromelin, it shouldn't go that far south. 444 from Antsiranana in Madagascar, and over 600 miles from Port Louis in Mauritius. No warnings are in effect for any islands in relation to this storm at the moment. Of course, in Agalega, tropical storm conditions are probably still continuing there at this time. It's the only area that is being affected by the storm at the moment. You can see how far north the storm is. Typical for early season storms, you can see its progression over the next few days, moving towards a general southwesterly direction, maybe a little bit further south towards the end of the week, probably going to stall or do a tight cyclonic loop and then move off towards the northwest, possibly striking the tip of Madagascar, could go even further north than that, probably will be very weak by the time it reaches some of those southern groups of the Seychelles. There it is, the remnants continuing off towards the west-northwest, and some indications it could go as far as Tanzania. Sea surface temperatures are around 27 degrees Celsius or so around the storm. It will drop a little bit the further south that it goes. So really, it's in its prime right now. The next 24 hours will probably be the best 24 hours for this storm. Here's another look over the next few days here. Hurricane equivalent status there, weakening by Friday or Saturday, and then doing that turn in some form or other, either a loop or a stalling motion, and then off towards the northwest. Very little left of it by the time we get into the beginning of next week, by the time it reaches the Seychelles. We don't anticipate there's going to be much of a change in this forecast. It's fairly high confidence, just the little bit of uncertainty about whether it might strike the northern tip of Madagascar. Only 2 locations on our tropical storm force wind probability chart here, 80% at Agalega and 40% on Farquhar. As it is, none of those appear on our map, they're just offshot to the north. This is one of the model consensus runs as well. You can see what they're all saying about it, a bit of a mishmash there for the upcoming 3 or 4 days, but they all wind up going in the same direction eventually towards the northwest. It would seem very unlikely at this stage that the storm will continue towards the south. Even if it did, it would probably be devoured completely by wind shear before it reached either of the Mascarene Islands, and again, there is a small risk to the northern tip of Madagascar, but that would appear to be decreasing rather than increasing at this time. Here's how the storm's actually looking. Quite compact, a very small wind field. It's actually shrunk a little bit since the last update about 18 hours ago. You can see how it's been progressing there, southwestward motion. You can just about make out the island of Agalega. Looks like the eye of the storm passed directly over that island, and now it's continuing towards the southwest, around the same intensity as it was when it did make that landfall. Still a mid-range Category 1, possible intensification, but ultimately not going to be a threat to most of us. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page. You're probably there already, but if not, subscribe if you haven't so far. You can also find our Facebook page, Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also help the project become even better by enjoying the benefits of patronage. You can find out more information about how to become a patron and what those benefits are at patreon.com/Force13. All of our Southwest Indian Ocean updates this season are in conjunction with our partners, Météo et Cyclone Maurice. You can find them on Facebook and through the link in the description.